Hi, I'm Sophie.
Hi, I'm Paul. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
It's the team up of the century.
Sophie and Paul.
SP.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's actually going to be Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Just eye candy. Both sides. Obviously, mainly
And on this as well. Me and you as well.
Oh, I think he's sweet. He's such a charmer.
Yeah. So very excited to be going to see this film. I feel like it's been in the works for quite some time now. I think it was like it's going to happen surely, but it's been a long gap, I think, between films coming out and
being kind of now rewatching, like even the second one. They already had it in the pipeline, didn't they? Like they were aware that they were going to do this, or it was going to happen. I'm really excited. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, no, I'm really hyped. I think it's going to be a barrel of laughs. So I think obviously what you expect from the other two films. We watched the second one just to sort of get in the spirit of things for this watch. Whether they kind of like have a nod to things that how things are now, or like any like meta kind of thing, like look how AI things or anything to do with that, or what? Who knows? It's Deadpool. But
we do. I do follow Blake Lively, and she did say that Ryan has captured a inner millennial girl within this film.
Right. Okay.
So I know there's a song I'm aware of, possibly of. There's Avril Lavigne. She's been on the red carpet with Hugh Jackman, so I don't know what she's doing.
Do you know more than me about this? Because I've tried to be like as blind as possible. I'm gonna go as blind as possible with this because I didn't even watch any of the trailers. I was thinking you've sold me on Wolverine and thing teaming up. So whatever that entails, I don't know, but very excited. Really excited.
And if Blake Lively says in a millennial girl, I feel like I'm a millennial. So I should love it. Loved all the other Deadpools, so let's go watch it.
Yep. So we're back in a little while after we've seen the film.
We better not be disappointed now being so hyped.
I don't think so. So there, let's go in. Woo! Let's get going. Woo!
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
That's not how it works.
It does now. Leave the bottle. I know you, bub. Nope. But I know you. Everybody knows me. I'm the Wolverine. Yes, you are. And I'm gonna need you to come with me right now. Look, lady, I'm not interested. Really getting into your cups. Why would I go with you? Because, unfortunately, I need you. And even more unfortunately, my entire world needs you.
And we are back. I've just come home from watching Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a rare occurrence to actually do it almost immediately after seeing it, isn't it?
Yeah, normally we have time to process, consider
thoughts, but I think it's just with just like a buzz from seeing the film. It's pretty positive.
I thought it was shit. I don't know what you're on about. The worst film of the year. So hyped up that actually it's completely crap. Right? So it's all lies. Where do we start? Well, can we start at the beginning?
We've got to be careful how we do this because it has only just come out. So we're going to have to sort of give like a spoiler-free part and then go into spoiler bits.
I've literally just watched it and now you're telling me to tiptoe around. How can I rein it in? He don't rein it in.
No, he doesn't. But
so what was funny is we both went in colour schemes tonight. I apparently wore yellow and Paul wore red. And then we realised on the drive home in the car, it's the opposite way round.
Yeah, I'm more, say reserved, but like a
Yeah.
And you're like with the chatter.
Yeah. That's why we have a podcast.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Yeah. So, what can we say? There's Wolverine, there's Deadpool, there's a film. There you go. That's what people do know. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Go on to spoilers.
No, it's in terms of like what it offered. I mean, obviously, like I said, I didn't know what to expect, like going in really from it, because I wanted to go in as knowing as little as possible, really, like how it was going to all come to fruition and stuff. But I think it definitely paid off that they've made a good decision with doing this. After, I mean, it's like 2018, I think the previous film was.
Wow, so
a good from
6 years, yeah.
To get this plan in motion, which I think that the fans are definitely pining for it, and there was a few nods to that in the films, were like with fight scenes and stuff. Like, oh, you're gonna like this, everybody.
Yeah, compared to normally Deadpool would be like, oh, is that it? Is that all the budget we've got? You know, kind of like slagging himself off a little bit. It was more like well,
not himself. It's more the studios, because they're the ones who have got
but not giving
the purse
him
strings
as much. Whereas now they've just thrown everything at him.
This, and I feel like they have. Yes, I do want to get into things, but yeah, I'll say that they have put a lot of effort into this.
I feel like they've thought about everything. Yeah, okay, there is some characters that come across, if you're not, I don't know, maybe you can tell me that you're not a big Marvel person. Yeah, you might not fully know who they are. Like, I've watched a lot of Marvel films, and I still were like, who the hell are they? Yeah,
there's some cameos from previous other Marvel films that people who are in the know. But
I feel like if you read the comics, I don't feel like that. I would maybe correct me. They're not the biggest Marvel characters that they've got their own Marvel film.
There is no.
Or the equivalent of like Ant-Man. Is this where we're at?
No, they're not like who kind of.
They're worse to me.
They're a bit bigger than just like, oh, this is some random thing that we've kind of like really like obscure reference character that's out there. But I'll once again.
But to be fair, it still didn't spoil it. It wasn't like you had to know who they were to enjoy the film. It was action packed.
Yeah.
Music was.
You even have a little boogie at parts.
I literally loved every single song. I don't think there was a bad track on there. Took me way back to being younger. We will definitely go into. Do
you think is that what Blake Lively meant?
I think when we were doing my intro, that's what she meant. Like, obviously, there's rumours that she's possibly there's a Lady Deadpool, but I don't know. I think she's meaning more like the. Do you think it's a 90s/2000 music vibe?
To 2000s, isn't it?
Yeah. There's just some banging tunes. Like, literally just like, from the opening scene.
Yeah.
It's just great. And I think until the end. And the other parts of it is like, for example, this is a 2-hour film. Was I bored? No. Did I think, when's this going to end? Oh, they could have cut that out and made it shorter. Hell no. Like, everything was there. It had a purpose. And it flew by. And how many times did the whole cinema just laugh?
Yeah, that's another thing. It's a good atmosphere, actually, considering we haven't been to like an opening night screening for a long time. So it was strange to see like it absolutely jam-packed pretty much.
The fact that we had to queue to get out of the cinema, I was like, what's this? Normally you're like, la, la, la.
But everyone was in like good spirits. Everyone was obviously chattering at the beginning before everything. But at least it wasn't like, there are people annoying, like crunching stuff while they're eating,
and every single one of them, apart from maybe 2, stayed. They knew the Marvel films. At the end, you wait until the end and you watch. Well, you don't have to watch all the credits, but you wait because there's going to be something at the end, and there is.
Yeah.
And it's worth the wait as well. It's not like Inside Out where it's...
Inside Out 2, rather.
Yeah. A crappy little... Yeah, It still baffles me that this is classed as Disney.
I know. It's such a... Which they do have a jab at constantly in the... film, so it's a running gag, but it doesn't get old because it's so true. Like how
good on Disney, like for embracing it and bringing it out, and making Marvel what it is. And I know people are gonna be like, "Boo!" Like Marvel was the thing beforehand, but there's a lot more.
Yeah,
a franchise it's becoming. It's more like I feel like this was like since Endgame. I don't really feel like I've had a movie that I've been like, Marvel's amazing. I feel like this is going to bring Marvel back around again. Like, that's how it feels.
There's potential for that, yeah. I don't know if it'll be completely, because it can't be as edgy as this. This is the only thing that will allow this kind of...
But they've got Venom. Is Venom Marvel?
No, there's a trailer for that before.
Yeah, there was.
No, he is owned by Sony, just like Spider-Man is. So
was.
That's a bit up in. It's complicated relationship.
What the hell?
Because they've got to keep we've got the rights to him.
Is it this like Pixar / presents Walt Disney or something like that? Like you go to me, oh, it's a Pixar movie, and I'm like, yeah, but it says Disney, and then I get confused because the little lamp comes on. But
in a way, but.
Are they agreeing to work together nicely? I guess that's the way to look at it. Anywho, can we now, please? Or is there anything else?
Okay.
Just go watch the film.
Just go watch the film. Very highly recommended. You'll have a laugh. Many, many laughs. If you liked the first two, you're going to love this one. That's all I'll say. There's a lot of fan service, but in a good way. And... because of that, there's jokes galore in it, and if you like violence, there's hell of a lot of violence.
There is so much action in this. Actually, there's more action in this than there is the first 1 and 2, I would say.
First one, obviously, because that's an origin story of sorts.
Yeah, but this feels like from the get-go, you're in with the action, like...
It's a big go home, basically.
Yeah, and really, that's literally what they've done. They've gone big, but they don't need to go home because they've smashed it out of the park, basically.
It's like
to say it's a third film, like...
Normally, it kind of peters out, doesn't it?
Yeah, even because I was so excited going into this, thinking, oh, it's going to be great, and getting, like, riled up and kind of, like, excited with everybody, like, kind of gushing on how amazing it's going to be. I didn't know if I was going to be left disappointed, but it's not the case. It really isn't, and I actually think I personally prefer this one out of all 3 of them, which... I don't think I've ever said that about a third film.
No, maybe Iron Man 3?
Can't remember that now, but yeah, maybe.
The one that's technically classed as a Christmas film. It's set around...
We'll cover it in his Christmas special, shall we? Yeah. Since, we're nearly there now.
Halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Right, so, go watch it. It's opening weekend, or by the time this comes out, it'll be a week on from that, but it'll still be out, and you'll have time to enjoy it. So,
and if you want to hear what we say, come back to us.
Yeah.
Or if you just really like spoilers, which some people do, like listen to us now and then go watch it. Entirely down to you, but don't hate on us because we forewarned you. So haters gonna hate.
Yeah. Normally we're pretty bad with that. We just go into things assuming that you have seen films and stuff. But
fair enough, especially like the films that I see that have been on the planet for God knows how long. Like. You're going to have spoilers.
But this being, just a new cinema release, it's only fair. But now we are going to go into the spoiler section because there's lots to go over. That's to gush over, even. Where to start?
Bye. So, I swear to God, I know this for... Like, I always say it, I'm sure Ryan Reynolds was meant to be in a boy band, and I'm pretty sure now that it was NSYNC, because the fact that Blake Lively loves NSYNC, like, to bits, and she always has, like, a bit of a elbow at the fact that he could have been in the band. Like, he could have been a band member, yeah. So that's why it's even more apt and funnier.
That he was doing this intro fight sequence where he was uncovering Logan Wolverine. They're like, oh, well, he's regenerating, he'll be fine. And then took him up and he's not.
He's dead.
He's very much dead.
But then obviously, like, I'd forgot that there was this time thing that he'd got at the end.
Well, obviously, we had...
Yeah, I just didn't realise that's how it was going to be implemented for Wolverine to get back in. I didn't...
Yeah, I knew that's how somehow that would come into play, and that's how, obviously, because I sort of remember, are they going to stick to that when they come to this, with obviously his girlfriend being alive.
Yeah, but straight away went, looked at you and was like, what the hell? She's dead. Like,
and I said, no, she's not. She was saved from when he did that time.
Yeah, I guess.
And then, just sort of bring her back and then...
Yeah. But the NSYNC, it was just, mwah. And I think it was really great because of the way that they filmed it. Like, you did have your action-packed, like, and it was like, and then it was Deadpool being Deadpool, dancing and doing the actual NSYNC moves. And it was just like, that's
so I'm looking
perfect.
to you and you were like, those are the move, the shapes they're throwing.
Me being a big NSYNC fan and a big Justin Timberlake fan, I was fully aware of what was happening and a nod. And I think for this film, when I said at the beginning that Blake Lively has a nod to the like millennial girls, I think also for her he says a couple of things to reference his wife in this, which I think is really lovely. So like he does say like about how many bones he had unless he's watching Gossip Girls, and then it's like an extra digit, meaning like obviously he's got a hard on.
Right.
That's how I took it, like to that, like because obviously she was in
Gossip Girl.
Why am I blanking completely on her name? That is really going to annoy me.
What character?
Have you ever watched Gossip Girl while I figure out Blair? No. Serena what? Serena Vanderwoods.
Right. No, I've only seen snippets of it as I've like walked past as you've had the TV on or something.
I think you'd hate it, to be fair, but
it's not for me. No.
Yeah, but again, slight little nods towards his wonderful wife. I feel like they're one of those couples that just have, like, you know, back in the day when Posh and Bex was everything. I feel like these are just the upper class of it, where it's like they're so down to earth, they support one another, they rip into one another with the jokes on social media, but have this brilliant relationship somehow. So what else can we gush about? Music.
Well, you've already said that.
Well, we had Avril Lavigne, we had NSYNC, we had was it Madonna? Like a Prayer. Like there was a fight scene to that back at the end. And that would just like, I've never thought in my entire life, let's have a fight scene with Madonna blaring out.
You can have, to be fair, you can have any song that you want to back in a thing, cause especially if it's something that's so contrasting.
It works so well.
Because, Tarantino does that all the time with films and stuff.
I feel like some of the songs I don't really normally know, though, so I just don't appreciate it, whereas this was like every song that was on, I pretty much knew. And it was just like, this is like the best film ever.
Like is it Olivia Newton-John as well, the one that's from Greece?
Oh,
yeah. And the fight scene in that. And
wasn't it the one that I won?
Yeah.
And it was really clever the way like it was stopping, starting through like the radio or whatever when they would get like fighting, and it would change the channel kind of, so to speak, and then it came to that one and it was like, right, that's sticking.
Yeah, and then it becomes just not so incidental music, but yeah.
Just everything was really just thought out from the get-go. I feel like everything they've done and everything, like, placed everything was just cleverly done.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's got to have a structure, hasn't it? But
it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's just one of those things where it is a complete masterpiece, and I feel like that's why they've had 6 years to make the jokes work perfectly and, like, get the audience just laughing on their belly. Like, you can see a lot of work has been put in to make it what it is.
Yeah. What I say, like, when I said about the fact of, I wonder if we're going to make any sort of, like, co-op to speed jokes on, like, how the world is in a way of, like, the level of things, like social media or something like that. But obviously the main factor, like you said about before, is, like, how Disney have taken him on now as opposed to 20th Century Fox. Because, you know, that's another property that was under that X-Men was under as well. So that's another thing that's now been sort of stripped in this whole debacle that's going on with that.
for Deadpool 1 and 2, was that Fox or was that always Disney?
No, I think that was Fox at that point.
1 and 2?
Yeah, it's only been recently where they've done that merger.
I see.
Because with the whole Disney Plus thing, and that's where how this has all kind of come from, really.
Right.
So that they're go under the brackets of Marvel being in that under Disney, and yeah.
Gosh, it's draining.
And, yeah, all these ties you have to properties and stuff like you've got to own this because it's it's got to hold on to that because it makes the most money, kind of thing. And, or drain it dry, whatever.
Ryan Reynolds is gold dust anyways, apart from obviously when he was in Green Lantern. But even then he makes jokes about that himself. He can make jokes about himself.
Or even there's a one of the good things. I mean, I'm sucker for because obviously they did it in Spider-Man Spider-Verse near the back end where
you love having
multiple versions of and I say Spider-Man my favourite superhero. I do really think Deadpool.
Anything in a red suit, I feel, Paul.
I think, yeah. So red. There's a whole bunch of alternate version Deadpools.
There's a lady pool and there's a weird ass dog pool.
Dog pool, yeah. And one of these ones is the a nice nice pool, wasn't it? The Ryan Reynolds without a mask and everything. He's got this long hair, and then
he looks like what's the elf off Lord of the Rings?
Legolas.
Yes, that's what I get from it.
And one of the things he does, I can do self-referential things. Look at the camera too. The proposal. It's what? I don't what? That's not a thing. I don't do that. I don't just say one.
But I think that's what is really great about him. He can kind of joke about himself and it's done in a really funny way. And also I really liked Nice Pool as a character. The way that he doesn't regenerate. Sorry, spoilers. He doesn't regenerate. Right. And that ricocheting getting shot. Cool. And just the way it was just so funny. I was absolutely wetting myself and I saw you and you were in stitches.
Oh, so good.
It's really funny. Yeah. Obviously, from a little bit of a Google, there was rumours about Lady Deadpool. What I've done some homework, haven't I? Mm-hmm. What we've established is it was a rumour of Taylor Swift, Blake Lively. Obviously, Lady Pool should be Blake Lively. It has been confirmed that is her voice. Is she the woman in the costume? We're not. I don't feel like that's
maybe not, but
she definitely is the voice.
It's easy to do without can't see her mouth moving, so someone just has to under a mask. It's fine.
Yeah.
But so that was when they're doing that fight scene when the Madonna song that plays on that, and it kind of reminded me in a way. Obviously, it's mainly because it's the panning shot along the street. That scene in Old Boy where he's going down the corridor and he's fighting off all the goons. Obviously, that's more an intense thing, and he's just fighting with the fist and a hammer and everything. No, that's taken in one shot. I'm pretty sure this wasn't done that way, but it made it look like it was kind of in a string of thing, and obviously fighting all the other Deadpools and stuff. But
the only fact is to forget that every other Deadpool can regenerate, so it's a waste of energy.
I'm thinking they must. So I know that one Deadpool, the Nice Pool couldn't, but why are they assuming that
the rest of them can't?
Yeah. And so, I know we're jumping around here a lot.
We are. But maybe that's good because then it's not, people won't know exactly the beat of the film. I think it's hard as well, especially when you've just watched it, to come in coherent.
Yeah, going And the fact of that, to also save the timeline, that's the sort of the ticking time bomb. The sacred timeline needs to be saved.
Because obviously Logan's character, Wolverine's died, and he was
because everyone was... His death was pretty impactful, and to be fair, I'd say it was, because when the film Logan finished and you're oh my god, he's gone. Because normally he's...
I remember watching Logan and being really quite shocked that, and I think it's the same as Tony Stark. Yeah. When he died, it was what? You should be immortal. You should carry on. But I actually do now realise I don't think I've watched a lot of actual Wolverine.
X-Men films.
Yeah.
So that's where we come into the other side of things with characters they may not recognise. But I'll get back to that in a minute.
Okay, because I've got loads of questions on that one.
Yeah. The people who appear. So for what happens is that he asks Deadpool, like, okay, well, I've got to find a different Wolverine to bring back to the timeline so that we can, save it and get back to the family.
Well, what does he say, like, to Wolverine? The way that because he thinks, if I bring back a Wolverine to, like, my timeline, then it'll save the whole timeline and it won't kind of bust or not exist anymore. But he said it several times because the Wolverine was like, well, you made a promise making it sound like this would work, and now was it like an internal dream or like an internal I can't remember it for exactly
something wish or something.
Yeah. And it's just the way he said it was just really funny, and it just worked really well. Like, I think with Deadpool, he's quite naive, but he kind of just loves his lucky out attitude.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yes, happy-go-lucky attitude.
Well, I mean, he's quite cynical.
He is, but it's weird. It's like he's a mixture.
I mean, that's the thing with him. He's he's not like everything's great, because normally he's downtrodden, but he's trying to just like make light of it with just
jovial jokes,
sarcasm and everything.
So can I just briefly give an update of what's happening? So basically, Deadpool wants to find Wolverine to fix a timeline so that he doesn't lose his family and his loved ones, even though he wants a bigger purpose in life and wanted to join the Avengers. They didn't want him.
Yeah. And so he's working with Peter at the car sales.
Trying to get money and trying to get his girlfriend back, basically. Yeah. This other Wolverine is the worst Wolverine you could get because every other Wolverine didn't want to participate. And so many different versions of Wolverine. The small one was quite funny. The really, really hensed one.
Mm-hmm.
The really old man.
The one that looked like a cowboy.
Yeah. Shooting him on his porch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I know we've said that thing with like alternate universes and stuff. It's kind of like, anything's possible now, isn't it? So that you can have these things. It's funny for jokes like that, really. And things.
I think it'd be interesting if this was actually in real life, like it was the thing. Like, wouldn't it be interesting to see what other Pauls were doing out in the universe?
Exactly, yeah.
Or other Sophies. Like, would there even SP be a thing in another universe?
No, this is the only timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is it the only timeline? Yeah. And are we even together in any other timeline? Are we like Mary Jane and Peter Parker? Like, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So, from this, you get a really good comedy duo from the crappiest Wolverine and the original Deadpool.
Yeah. Who basically get sent to the void, essentially, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
This, like, almost like banished, like in Monsters Inc. or something like that. With all the sort of, like, I say rejects of the world. Because
like, and the fact that Captain America's there as well.
Well, yeah, but did you, obviously initially you're thinking, it is Captain America and it's Chris Evans who's playing him, but did it throw you, did it throw you off when he turned into, Fireman?
Well, yeah.
So you haven't seen, this is when Marvel films were in the early stages and they were a bit of a joke. So Chris Evans has already, before he was Captain America, he played a different superhero.
Is this like Ryan being Green Lantern?
In a way, yes, but that was a DC property. But anyway, so in this, I made a joke. It's like he's going to say "Avengers Assemble," and he goes "Flame on," and it's like what? Which he's the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. I
remember that. There's that stretchy person.
Yes, there is. Mr. Fantastic. So in the early stages, as I say, where I think that when it was again owned by Fox,
FX,
that they did a Fantastic Four film.
Yeah, we went to see it, didn't we?
We went to see a version of Fantastic Four.
I'm sure we did.
So, and that didn't get off. It was like dark and moody in that one, but there was a different.
Yeah. Have I seen Captain America being Iron Man.
No, you haven't, because it's pretty. They're pretty terrible films.
Well, I was quite disappointed with one thing from this film.
Yeah.
Why was Thor crying? Like when he was in the cloak and he was like in this roguey island, like I was thinking, that could be Thor. Like that would make sense, and I'd have the understanding of Thor was crying over a dead Deadpool. Yeah. But that was never. It was never answered. So I feel like that's now going to be somewhere. Like if there's another Deadpool, I feel like
something. Yeah. Because if the series about whether he's actually going to be appearing in other films, I don't. This is what I don't know about this. Like, are Disney willing to risk?
Oh yeah.
Doing that in a way like, I've got to be a bit more edgy now. I don't know, as opposed to being what the other one. I don't know.
I feel like they can get away with it.
No, they don't want the money, aren't they?
Well, yeah, and I think
which, to be fair, would not say. I feel like that probably would benefit a bit of, like, say, like after Endgame, things have been pretty stale.
They have.
With the other Marvel films after that, it just hasn't hit the same mark, and I just wavered off with that. Even the TV series stuff as well.
Was Black
Panther.
Yeah, was that before Endgame or was it after? I think that one was maybe.
Which one? The one we haven't seen.
The one we haven't seen.
Wakanda.
Yeah, I think
that was after the fact that Chadwick died as well.
Yeah.
So.
I think that was the only one I would say that maybe had
potential, maybe. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as long as, and that's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour film. I'm not really invested to know about that.
I think it's one of those where you don't need to be invested in knowing who's who and what's what. Still, the jokes can hit. Some you might miss if you're not aware of certain bits. But
because for me, like the big bad in this, who's the sister of Charles Xavier, who's Professor X, and I was like, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the comics that's probably the case, but I didn't know he had a sister.
Well, I didn't know Wolverine had a brother or whatever this weird...
Oh, yeah, see, that was another thing from the other films as well, yeah. So that was another, X-Men throwback as well, and that Toad guy as well, from the long tongue. And the guy who absorbed the fire as well, he's from X-Men as well.
None of them, I don't have any...
Knowledge.
But
they're obviously a lot older, and the guy who fought Wolverine very briefly, the Sabretooth,
that died quite quickly.
I think he was a different actor as well under the makeup.
Oh, was he?
But anyway, or his age, I don't know. But it's by the by, because
he wasn't there long, bless him. So can we go into the characters within the Void? Obviously, you've got Captain America. You've got
Johnny Storm.
Yeah. I'll name who I think I've seen, and you can tell me who they are.
Okay.
So we've got... What's her name? 13 going on 30 woman.
Jennifer Garner.
Yes. Don't know who the hell she is in this at all.
She is Elektra, who is... she was involved in...
Is she X-Men?
No, she's within the storyline of, like, Daredevil. So, who's... like a blind crime fighter, basically, right. But resides in like New York City, so would be like the same thing with Spider-Man and stuff, but still within the. I don't think he's a Sony property, or maybe they are. I don't know. Forget now.
Oh gosh, it's exhausting. But she does a really good job. Like, it's not really a weak performance for
the films weren't, or a film that she was in or standalone wasn't that great. She had an appearance in the Daredevil film, but again, it was kind of early stages of when they're trying to find the feet, really.
We then have
Blade.
Yeah, who is he again?
Wesley Snipes. You've seen Blade?
Have I?
Yeah, we watched it like one. He's the vampire. He's half vampire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
well, he's aged as well since then. So let's be honest. How am I getting the two together there?
Well, I know, but I thought you would at least pick up on.
No, not one bit. Then I picked on Channing Tatum.
You were like, is that who I think? Even I initially was like, is that who I think it is?
And I'll be honest, he was quite comical. Like, he did do it well, like his shitty little accent of, I don't know what he was speaking.
So, his character is he's one of the X-Men, and he's called Gambit. And
is he really that slow, normally?
What, in talking? He's got like a...
It feels like Italian, but...
It's supposed to be like a French accent or something.
Oh.
Well, yeah, like all that kind of stuff, but it's a bit put on.
But then it seems like he's speaking a different language when he's saying stuff, and like Deadpool's like, what are you saying? And he does seem like a bit of a thick character, but I don't know if I'm just stereotyping Channing Tatum. Sorry. In like 22 Jump... Is it 22 Jump Street?
Yeah. And 21 Jump Street, yeah. Yeah, so his power is the...
fucking shit.
It's like psychic energy on the cards and...
Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
What do you mean shit?
It's the worst, it's the shittest.
Not really.
It's the shittest, like, magic power. Like, oh, I have cards that I fling and they turn into bombs. Like, I don't know. I'd want to be a badass. I wouldn't want to just be flinging cards around. Paching, paching, paching.
Well, to be honest, it can be almost anything you can associate with it. That's just like a trick. It does look, but... It's not the worst power, is it? But
it's not the greatest either. Who am I missing?
Well, you sort of know the girl who was the experiment from Logan. She's sort of grown up a little bit now. That was the other. Well, I think that was everybody really. You might have gone. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, all of them basically. But when they came into the room and was it like an impactful moment? Like, oh, like to me, like being like Endgame where you get.
I think it was more as after it sounded more impactful that they're sort of like, oh my god, look at all the different Deadpools. Like variations.
People I don't know.
And the fact that obviously they went through all that because the fact it's not like in like Spider-Verse where it's easy to just like create some or I say easy, but you know, like
a lot of people could be drawn
generate various different variations of Spider-Man. But no, it was kind of like, oh yeah, like sort of like again throwback and sort of like nostalgia of remembering those characters in a way. Gambit was never had like an on-screen appearance before.
The magician,
Channing Tatum's character. So interesting to throw him in the mix really for that, as if it was like, oh, you're a bit of a loser kind of.
Well, yeah, which is quite funny because I think
in a way
I used to love Channing Tatum and Ryan, but I still love Ryan Reynolds. And it's quite funny how you see two different cliches of what, like, because they were in both, like, rom-coms when I was a teen. And it'd be like, swoon over both of them. Then when I was a bit older, obviously Magic Mike came out, and I was like, yeah, definitely Channing Tatum. And then when he started doing... I didn't mind him in 21 Jump Street, but it was, like, more... realised he didn't have... the character didn't have that much depth. Whereas I think Ryan's just always been the funny guy. And I think that's more attractive when you get older. Like, it's alright when you're good looking, when you're a bit younger, but there's nothing between your heads. I'm not saying he's thick, but even I think every character now is just stereotyped to being a bit dumb, bless him. Like, even this one seemed a bit...
I guess, in a way.
Whereas Ryan's the funny guy.
Yeah, but it's not always good to be the funny guy in it, but...
Well, it is when you've got so many jokes that make everybody belly laugh in the cinema, like...
That's true. But again, that's what you're going to get from a Deadpool film, so... Yeah.
And we weren't left disappointed.
Yeah. So I wasn't, like, because I'm thinking, like, on, like, the other Marvel films and stuff where they try and shoehorn in jokes and they just don't land. They're just not...
Oh, they're just over the top.
Yeah. Whereas... I don't know, it just works for this. And to say, like, I'm thinking back to, like, the other films, like you said, about, like, fight scenes and stuff, like that one where they're all in the void and then they're all kind of, like, collectively working together to fight off the baddies in there. And it feels like, oh, it kind of feels a little bit epic, like it's not quite like with the Endgame fight kind of thing, but...
No, but that was excessive, wasn't it?
Yeah. But in a way of like, oh, this is exciting again.
Yeah.
This makes you excited for like a superhero film like this.
And you kind of felt sorry for them in the end because, like, obviously the lady uses Doctor Strange's portal.
Yeah.
And
she said that she killed him or something. So I was like, oh my god, like.
Have we not watched one of them?
I have to say, I don't know if that's just something. Because it's on a different timeline or something, or who knows.
It is very exhausting to keep up. But the rest of them didn't come, and I were a little bit like, even though I didn't really know who they were, I was like, well, they've just helped you.
Yeah.
Now you've just abandoned them. So I was quite happy that then they get reunited in the end with them. And, we haven't spoken about the dog pool enough. The most ugliest but cutest dog in the world. He's got a massive tongue. Initially when I saw him, he looked like a pig.
Yeah, a little gremlin or something.
Yeah, he's got like a curly, whirly tail, weird floppy ears that look see-through. Is that a real dog?
So at points it didn't look like it was, and then sometimes it did. So I think it was maybe a mix.
Maybe like some CGI.
Because it looked like really bug-eyed. I think some CG was used on that. It must have been. Cause,
the tongue wasn't normal, was it?
No.
And it was definitely going in Deadpool's mouth a lot.
I think that's the joke, isn't it? If it was just a normal dog,
a
normal little chihuahua,
and I
or
think
something,
it's because it's frisky, and that's what Deadpool is.
Yeah, it's like constantly the sex jokes.
Yeah, well, even like when they were doing the opening scene with the NSYNC, it was kind of felt that way when he was doing the dance moves. It was kind of just, I don't know, it's just the way he moves. I think the chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan is just perfect.
It's exactly what you want from that, as like expectations were kind of like this back and forth, like, begrudgingly, like, I'm going along with you because I've got no choice kind of.
Is that how you feel about me? Yeah.
No, not quite. No, not quite there yet.
Rude.
But yeah, obviously the F-bombs are
so many. And I felt like an old lady because I did say to you, like, but it's mainly from Hugh Jackman's character, like, F this, F that. And you're like,
he's like a grumpy old man, isn't he? So
yeah, but if that's his body, I mean, how old is Hugh Jackman?
Is he in his 50s now?
Is he
getting on there? I think
55 is there. Is
what?
I'm just going to type in Hugh Jackman topless. Excuse me, Paul. Yeah, that's his body. Like, it's just, yeah.
You'll have to have worked out for the fight scenes and such, so.
Wow. 55-year-olds. I mean, even Ryan doesn't have that body. Well, to be fair, I say that, but Ryan's like, what, probably 10 years younger, not even that. It's weird now, isn't it, to think, because like when they were doing at the end, showing snips of like young Deadpool, and it was like, I've realised actually I've aged with this film as well.
I've aged even more from seeing like those clips of the old X-Men as well that you won't have seen.
No.
Like, it
was weird.
It's weird because of the fact that also because of almost like the quality of the clips as well was obviously before it was like really HD and well to a degree it'd be like what would say Blu-ray standard, but if putting it together with this, it looks like old clips. You can tell, like that's from what we've come to now in terms of 4K and filming and all that kind of stuff. It's gone a long way, but it's a bit, and with that as well, like the traditional thing of playing that Green Day song when you're doing like, remember the good old times kind of thing, and that's like, which is kind of in a way a sweet nod to like all the stuff with that, where that's where the franchise has come from, really, in all aspects, even the Fantastic Four thing.
Even the Fox thing at the end when it says like...
Yeah, exactly, like 20th Century Fox, like, rest in peace, bro, kind of thing. Because, at the end of it all, it's like, it's where it all kind of started, but obviously it's moved on since then, and, complications with it all, as I say, but, like, it's all worked out in a way, but there's still ties there that just got to let go a little bit, really, and let loose. And I say it will be interesting going forward, like how future Marvel films are going forward. Is this like going the right path? Are the films going to mature with the audience, or is it still going to play it safe?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to keep it family friendly? I don't know.
I think it depends on which one they're going with.
But not go too edgy for the sake of being edgy, really. It can go, it can be cringe that way as well.
The lead character. Like with Deadpool, you're going to get edgy.
Yeah.
that's his persona, it's his personality. If they decided to bring Captain America back,
because I mean, well, you not say you can't do that because
no, you can't.
Because the fact that they've brought Hugh Jackman back, and I thought the reason they stopped with Logan is because he said I don't want to do this anymore, which could be the same could be said for Iron Man if push comes to shove, but. Because it almost like
Tony Stark will definitely come back.
Because he kind of made the joke when he was at the Avengers headquarters, like, "Oh, well, where's the big man?" Really, like, I speak to him as if
no, I took that different.
What?
I didn't take it as Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah.
You said Mr. Stark.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Why was?
I was thinking of is it Stan Lee? You know, the one that used to always make a cameo in an appearance.
No.
That's kind of, but obviously, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
But I did think, did he mean?
No. He meant just in obviously headquarters of the Avengers and.
Yeah, because Tony was the.
Which was almost implying that he didn't pass at this point.
Well, or when that point was.
Yeah, because
whenever that was in that.
Yeah. Timeline. Yeah.
Mm.
It's all very complicated.
It is. But then, no, but he must have, because I saw on the desk it said Tony's heart.
Oh, that's true, isn't it? Yeah.
So it must have, I think it's Ryan just playing ignorant.
Oh,
Deadpool.
Yeah, Wade Wilson, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Oh, wow, Sophie. Okay. Right, okay. We should stop the podcast now because I've done my best work. So it's not going to get any better.
I've got those thoughts going around my head, but I'm trying to get them in a cohesive way of stuff. And is there anything else you can think they bring up at this stage? Because I think just overall it was really well done, and I say the flow of it really worked.
Yeah, it did. I'm just trying to think of what else there was.
Obviously, there was a lot, but in terms of okay, well, this point, go through.
I just want to know how you felt when it was a case of they'd built this the woman that went through people's heads with the fingers.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you've built this thing that can kind of completely wreck every universe."
Yeah.
And she wanted to take that, so then her planet, wherever she had built a life from,
she can
rule
the world essentially.
Yeah. And then you get
the sacrifice. You mean?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman or Deadpool fighting on who was gonna.
Yeah.
Matter, whatever it is.
And matter and antimatter, conversion, basically. If you do this, you'll both die, essentially.
Well, if one of you does it, you'll die. You'll definitely die, and you'll combust, basically. Yeah. So, did you? I don't know. I was sat there, and I was like, nah, they're not. Well, first of all, it did make sense for
Oh right, okay. I see where you're going. Was I thinking? Oh, this is the end of them.
For both of them, but it's well, they've only just brought Wolverine back. Why would they kill him off?
Because, I think that might have worked and be that's just a one-off.
I did think that, but then I was like, no. And then I thought, well, is this the end of Deadpool? And it's it can't be. And still in my heart, when I was watching it, I was trying to get somewhat sad, thinking, oh, this is where the film wants me to go. But I was like, no, this is not happening. There was another side to me where it was I'm glad it happened the way it did, where they both came holding hands, oh, we're alive still. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise I think I'd have been a bit just invested in you both for 2 hours, and now you both die. I think I'd have been absolutely miffed.
No, to be fair, I feel like I did have there's somehow there's gonna switch it round or something because of it's Deadpool, isn't it? So it's there'll be some psych kind of thing.
Well, I did think Deadpool wouldn't die because he can regenerate. That were my.
Well, so can Logan, basically.
Why did he die then?
Well, I think it was just a.
Was it more of a sacrifice than it was actually?
I think just if you for that length of time, just deteriorating, even your cells aren't going to regenerate at a certain point, are you? And that's it, really.
There was also.
That's all I can say.
There was also to do with the several Deadpools. When they killed all the Deadpools and there was a baby Deadpool, and I was like, nope, don't kill the baby, don't kill the baby, don't cross that line. And then that's where the other ones came. Oh, at that point as well, I like the fact, because all the time, Hugh Jackman was wearing the iconic yellow suit. I think
I don't know if you ever like see the mask that he wears as part of that costume as well, and then he
didn't even know he had a mask.
Kind of pulls it up like a hoodie at the.
It's good.
And it's like, oh yeah, that really works as a thing. It doesn't look stupid or anything like that because it's kind of like got the same kind of like that white eye slot thing that Deadpool has.
Deadpool does take the mick out of it though and go, "Oh, you've had that all along," kind of thing. And he's like, "You look like Batman."
Like Batman, but he can move his neck.
Yeah. And I think it's just those little pieces of nuggets, which I believe Ryan like puts it in himself and does do quite a little bit of the puns and jokes.
He must have some input in that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's what makes it golden.
Yeah. Because I bet even... I don't really read the comics or anything, but obviously they're mainly aimed at kids, but I don't think they can be saying shit for cum, whatever.
What rating is this film?
15.
15. Wow.
Which is what,
Wow.
Get away with. So if a film's 18 these days, it's got to be pretty
Safe you
graphic.
don't watch 18s.
No, but if you think back to like The Exorcist, where that was rated 18 initially, and now it's probably more like a 15 because it seems it's pretty tame for today's standards.
Well, yeah, it is.
So, so if you put into perspective things like that, where it's a film says today, this day and age, it's an 18 rated film, it's got to be pretty shocking.
Pretty grim. I think that's it from me. I don't know if you've got any more.
No, I think that's everything for the time being. I think it was just a really fun experience.
The only disappointing experience was the going to the cinema and that you can buy a popcorn bucket and a drink.
Very expensive though.
For £25. Obviously it had the merch on it, which is great. It's nice to see. But at the same time you're a bit like, when did that become so flipping expensive?
Well, you could say that about anything, the food and drink you buy there, but
True.
It's merch, isn't it? And it's like, get it while you can. That's the thing.
Then what do you do with it once you've bought it?
I don't know. You use it again, I guess. But
do you keep it and then sell it when it's...
Yeah, well, all that people do that, yeah. And then flip it for a profit, because people do that.
So, go watch Deadpool. We enjoyed it.
Deadpool and Wolverine, yep.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo. Don't know if there'll be a follow-up, but I'd be perfectly fine leaving it as is.
I feel like Disney agreed it, and the fact that this has gone so
for
well,
more money.
they will.
They'll look at the figures and go, well, that making our bank account looking pretty healthy.
Yeah, we're doing that again.
See you next year.
Yeah, literally. 2 years' time and they'll be back.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, you work until you're
90
is the joke. But it's hard to think of any other actor to play Wolverine. And the same goes for any other actor than Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. I don't think it can be done. So it's almost like they were made to be those
Well, I feel
situations.
like Ryan's always wanted to be Deadpool. I think he's read the comics. He's always wanted that character to play.
I don't know if you switch them around, I don't know if it'd seem a bit odd.
It's like if me and you switched round, it'd be odd.
How do you mean?
You mean if you switched Ryan to be Wolverine?
Yeah, and Hugh Jackman to be Deadpool.
No, it just won't work.
No. So how do you mean by us?
Like, if I was you and you were me, like...
Well, like Freaky Friday?
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
I don't think that's not what I mean by that, really.
I know what you're meaning, but, like, I feel like Hugh Jackman would just not hit the puns of the jokes, and I think Ryan's voice works really well with how high-pitched he is. That it just, everything he kind of says and the way he speaks comes across comical. Yeah. Whereas I just don't think Hugh's got that, and I can't imagine Ryan being grumpy. Probably does get grumpy, but, you know, Hugh does do that very well.
Yeah. He does, yeah. And obviously, because Hugh's Australian as well, like, obviously he's put...
Is he?
Did you not know that?
No! Where's his Aussie accent?
What was it? It's called acting.
I never knew that.
No, he's always... Really?
Like Aussie accents.
What do you not think it was weird when, obviously, like, the end clip, when the the behind the scenes of the X-Men.
I just thought it was because he was younger. Ryan still sounds like Ryan.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's easy to do your mannerisms that way, whereas obviously Hugh Jackman's got to put an American accent and keep that going for thing in the grumpy. It's easy to do that in the grumpy or angry state, not like a comical way, except for doing the sarcastic in that way. But
I think as well, Ryan's Canadian accent just works.
So with that, it's like I wouldn't necessarily say he was Canadian. Or if he went like A, like that's.
I think it's the high pitchedness. I feel like is the difference.
Right.
It still sounds like his balls aren't dropped, doesn't it? Let's be frank. And he's a 40-year-old man. Sorry, Ryan.
Right. I think that's all for the time being.
And since it's a film that neither one of us have seen, you get to go first. Oh,
I want you to go first.
Sorry, you're breaking the SP rules. What do you mean?
I'm just curious.
This is how you know when Paul is definitely Wolverine, because he's going quiet now and he knows I don't like awkward silences, and that's when I become Deadpool and do all the talking and fine. So clearly, because I've gushed over the film, I feel like I can't not score it a high score. I can't give it a reason that it should be any lower than the score I've got in my head. There isn't a reason that I think, that could get rid of, this could be cut. So it's a 10.
I thought it was going to be a 10.
Clearly is a 10. And the fact that he did the NSYNC dance, just like, it's an 11. Are you not going to give it a 10? Is that why you sent me first?
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're going to give it an 11?
What?
You're going to give it an 11 instead? Is that why you wanted me to go first?
No. I don't think I can give it absolute top marks, because I'm thinking of like other films where that's probably more deserving of that top spot. Not that saying that I was like, all the praise I've given it, it's like, oh well, I can't say that was really terrible or anything like that.
You gave Alien a 10, didn't you?
Yes, I've given like things like
that's not worthy.
It's in my eyes. It's opinions, isn't it?
Yeah. You're fangirling over the new one, and I'm thinking, oh, another space film. Go on then. What could be better? Or are you just comparing it to The Shining, which you can't do?
No, you can't do. So my justification
is not.
Really is obviously I'm thinking back to the other Deadpool films we've watched, which I believe I've gone to my letterboxed. I've marked them down as being like 7 out of 10.
Huh? Oof.
For both of them, because they're enjoyable, but they're not the ones to kind of come back. If maybe the first one's maybe 7.5, maybe.
Yeah, definitely the first is better than the second.
The second one's probably a 7.
To be fair, I feel like I hadn't watched the second one as much.
Yeah.
So I haven't come back to it, and when we rewatched it, I feel like I didn't really remember a lot of it. Whereas I feel like I'm going to remember a lot of this film.
So I'm basing it on that mostly, like where to score it, and I feel like it's gonna sit between an 8 and a 9, so it's gonna be 8.5.
Okay.
That's still a good level of enjoyment for a superhero film as well. Let's put it that way. It's a film that gives you a laugh, and it's a good chuckle and everything like that.
So what would make it a 10?
I don't know what would make it a 10.
I feel like you're just justifying it, like, you don't have any reason not to give it a 10, but I feel like you're just thinking, oh, well, actually, it's just alright, but I think you're being a harsh critique, but that's your score. If you think Alien's a 10 compared to Deadpool 3, maybe we need to question this relationship. Maybe you want an alien inside your stomach, but I'd rather see Deadpool dancing to NSYNC any day.
Well, maybe that's the thing for you then, is obviously that you say with the music stuff being a markup for you on that.
Was it not for you?
Oh, I never was a fan of NSYNC, was I? So...
Well, no, but there's some other banging songs.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything to take away from.
No, I just meant the whole tracks. Like there was.
Yeah. But the work is the service of what they are, and for the comedic value of the situations. Yeah, sure. It was a good time. That's all. Same, but not so like, oh yeah, let's.
Don't you feel like when you get disappointed, where you think, "Oh, I've just had an
This
amazing time."
This is like me, like oh, good, the bad, the ugly, or something, or.
Well, no, but the fact that
like,
we just I came out of the cinema, it was like, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, we enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then we're like gushing over it in the car, and then we come back out, and then you're like, right, 8.5. I just feel like I've been slapped in the face a little.
It's not like I've gone, oh, 7. Is it? Or 6?
No, but I just didn't anticipate that, I guess. And he threw me under the bus, making me go first.
Because I knew, I was feeling that you were going to give it a 10. I'm thinking, I can't put it at...
Like a 9 at least would have been. I know you're only like
0.5
0.5 off, but still.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Paul's wrong. Deadpool's amazing. Sometimes the critiques are not always right.
I know it shouldn't be like a thing of this, but like, could you see this winning like any awards at like the Academy Awards or anything like that?
Can I be really harsh to you now and go, probably not, but does that mean it shouldn't? Barbie hardly won anything, but I think that was better than Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Things was a pretty tricky, like, messed up film. I feel like these kind of award shows go, oh, that's art, and, you know, they bull everything up.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually Poor Things. Yeah, okay, it's all right, but you have to be a collective person to want to appreciate what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Alex, one of our patrons, you'll watch it and go, when what's his face burps a bubble, you turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
This is an all-rounder, people pleaser, family pleaser. It's.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
win
not
awards,
a family picture.
Which it's a shame it doesn't. But
yeah, it's almost like a leave your brain at the door, just enjoy it, but in the best way possible.
Yeah,
but
and that's what's more my film.
Not like a mind-numbingly, oh, this is just some schlock. This is
like
something.
I bet you Poor Things compared to this is probably a similar hour.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed more. I enjoyed it more.
I don't think you were meant to be laughing at Poor
I
Things.
looked at Poor Things and thought, why the hell am I still here? This is dragging on, but apparently it's meant to be a masterpiece and I'm completely missing something here. Mm-hmm. Whereas Deadpool gave me what it said on the tin.
That's fine. No, not taking...
And I really feel like it's really unfair to say, will it win an award? Like, I hope it does now, just to prove you wrong.
I was only saying that in terms of, like, and I know it's unfair, like, how the studios favour certain things over...
Well, it does. Like, Barbie should have won a lot more last year than what it did.
No, I agree on that, yeah. I feel like they should have... I know they got nominated, but...
Yeah, but Oppenheimer was... Oh, it's a historical piece of bombing and war.
It did happen, but...
And it's like, oh, then that's factual, so a plastic Barbie doll is naff all, is it? But actually, it hit people emotionally. Right, we better stop. Yeah. You've got me on my high horse. Look what you've done. Didn't think I was going to end Deadpool like this.
Sorry. But
that's it. We're done.
Love you. Now I'm getting the silent treatment.
Just try to be annoying now.
Boop.
Boop.
Boop. Boop. Watch it again though. I would.
And he'll buy the steelbook case for it.
Yeah.
But it's still just an 8.5. Anywho.
So everything I'd own doesn't have to be...
Oh, well, no, sorry, because everything would have to be a 10 up there, wouldn't it? And then you'd have nothing on your shelf.
Well, if that was the case, I wouldn't have any that many things on my
That's what I mean. You'd have loads of space to fill it with your Criterion 10s. Right, I'll just go upstairs and go, right, what do you think? Anything that's a 9 and a 10, we're keeping. The rest is going.
Yeah, half stock, I think.
Yeah. Anywho, thanks, guys, for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hope you get to see the film and enjoy it. And whatever.
Just as much as I did, not compared to Paul. Hope that you think it's amazing. And that Paul hasn't just made you come back to down to earth and think it's crap.
It's not crap. It's really not. That's still high praise, isn't it? It's like a B+. Well,
it should be an A star.
I'm just happy that you enjoyed it.
Thank you. I think a lot of people in the cinema did. Right, are we closing this now?
Yeah.
I feel like we've rambled on enough.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you very much for listening to this episode. And if you would like to check out some of our other episodes, you can do so by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you get your podcasts from.
And did you know you can follow us and like us on Spotify? I've just learned that this week, so do that.
And also give us a 5-star review over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and wherever else they do the scoring system.
And if you'd like to follow us for more SP than you've already just had, then you can follow us on social media under the handle SP_filmviewers, and you can find us on TikTok, Threads, Twitter, Instagram.
That's right. And we'd also like to thank the Patreons for their continuing support for the show. If you would like to join our Patreon family, that lovely people we're going to read out in a moment, and have the opportunity to vote for a movie we watch once a month, then all you need to do is go to patreon.com/SPFilmViewers.
And obviously it costs £1 or $1.50 to get that privileges. Yeah. So, Patrons we have. First of all, we'll start with my mum. Then we have our friend Gren, who is under the handle CGren_draw. We've then got Emma and Jones, who are on Instagram as well. Jonesy, who's under Weight Loss Jonesy. And M, who's under M_Hayton.
We've also got Alex and Shani, who are at Desperately Seeking Username on Instagram. And SDOG on Instagram.
We've then got our podcast people. So we've got Mark from 100 Things We Learned from Film. We've got Ben from Push Pull Health, or previously Film Vloggers. And lastly but not least, we have got Nico from the Good, the Bad, the Weird podcast.
So thank you once again, guys and gals, for your continuing support. And we'll have a new Patreon poll up in a little while for you to vote on.
In August. Next month.
Mm-hmm.
This month.
Yeah, this month. This month, yeah. Flying by, the year's going.
Soon Christmas.
Soon October.
Did you know I'm not here for October?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I'm on holiday. Ben and Sean are going to fill in.
Is that right? Okay,
yeah.
Guess the whole month. Is
yeah.
That right?
Yeah. And Jones, anyone.
Anyone. Man off the street. Talk about horror films.
Yeah. You can just talk to yourself. Be right. Right.
Well, thank you very much for listening once again. And we'll speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
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 Bye.